Well, welcome back. Another wonderful day. And I should have known that this was going to happen, but it's one of them things that just keeps repeating. So this is where we're at once again with the goat not in the fence, but out the fence. Yes, you. So basically what has been happening, we have done tons of revisions here and fixed all this, and I just watched one of the little ones jump all the way up to here, so I'm thinking I'm gonna have to add another board across. This looks like so just patched together and just so rigged, but like I said before, this is temporary right now. Anyway, one of our bucks, he is very large and heavy, and basically all he has come and done, and you can see it with this one right here. So see that kink? I mean, he just basically steps on this and they bend, and it's just like, look at that. I mean, it's pathetic. He has jumped over his fence up there, and that's all he does. He jumps out up there, comes down here, steps on this, get in, then they all get out and they're running around. It is just a royal pain. So I think at this point what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be putting stakes in. He ain't gonna bend these, and they're not gonna break that easy either. Now this one's loose now, so we'll take care of that. So I'll do that, and then we can get at that project at hand today. And I'm sure when I get back, they're gonna be out again. We'll see. So I swapped out that stake actually broke, so I swapped that out with this. Cut a point on it, it actually narrowed down. I just had this laying around. He's not gonna bend that, but he may rip some, I don't know. We'll see. Look at them all out there, innocent, like they don't do any wrong. Look at them. And out here was another trouble area. As you can see, welded wire is junk. So if you want goats, don't get welded wire, get woven wire. That's the biggest mistake I made in doing the fence, and I patched all these holes before, and she was still trying to climb it. So we put this here. Now the task at hand, finally. I'm gonna hop on the 860, the Ford 860 that Dad got, and I'm curious, and he is curious, to try and see how it's gonna operate the mower and just how well it's gonna operate, basically doing farm tasks and stuff like that. So I'm gonna hop on that, hook up the mower, and we'll see if we can mow some stuff. I need to mow at least 3 different field areas, one of which is a hay area that we didn't cut because it was all weeds. So we'll jump on that and see how it does. You know, I could easily hop on the Coyote, the new and improved latest technology of a tractor. I just have a lot of appreciation for older tractors, and even all you people who have ran the old tractors back in the day and farmed with them and everything, didn't have your GPSs and everything. I just have such an appreciation for that. Old tractors are just, I don't know. I like new stuff too, don't get me wrong, but there's a special place for the old tractors for sure. So here is the dilemma. The mower is already attached to the Coyote. Everything's already set up for it. So do I just use that, or deal with having to unhook it, move it out of the way to hook it up to the 860? I don't know. That's kind of one of them things that do you really mess with it? I know I'm gonna be disappointing a lot of you on here by not using the old 860. I know that, but at the same time, this is already hooked up and ready to go the way it is. So on a time management standpoint, it's just more realistic to already use the tractor that's hooked to it. That makes the most sense. I hope you guys can understand that. Otherwise, if it weren't already hooked to this, you can be sure I would be 110% using that. But it is already hooked to this, and you know, it's not gonna stay daylight forever either. So we're just gonna take the Coyote, and this is also obviously hydrostatic too. So I think for some of our smaller plots, it's probably just gonna work a little bit better. I do promise you at some point though, we're hooking to that and we will mow with that. So this looks basically just as bad, but you can see there is some corn in there. It's a little short. This, I guess, was more of a trial year than anything, and I was trying to kind of go with not spraying anything, but there's a lot of corn in there. And then basically from up here a little past, then it goes the opposite direction. So from up here past, it kind of goes the opposite direction, and it's basically just weeds. So right here you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I mean, these weeds are taller than me. So it's just, it looks like a planted foxtail field. And these things, if you've never messed around with foxtail before, it is very invasive to crops. So I mean, just like pulling this, look at all them seeds that fell. I didn't even catch half of them. So you can mess around with that in your hand. I mean, look at all those seeds that come off. So it's no wonder that they grow the way they do. I mean, these things release hundreds of seeds. So I think we're gonna start somewhere in this vicinity because we really don't have any corn up through here. There's one plant, and a lot of this was planted late. The majority of it starts from basically back in there. One thing I like to do as well when I'm mowing really tall weeds like this and grasses and everything, especially with the coyote, is I like to keep the bucket low, that it'll lay the weeds and stuff over, because otherwise it just tends to clog up the inlet ports, and then the tractor will overheat. So I don't know how much of a better job it does, but I would imagine it kind of keeps everything forward and lays it down before it can get access to that. If you missed the last video where we did a pumpkin harvest, and we got to check those again, but definitely go and check that out. Pumpkins are doing really well. There is actually a lot of corn right here in front of us in these rows, but it's so short. It's just, quite honestly, it's really not worth anything. It's not going to produce anything. It's not worth letting it sit here. But you can see the rows. The rows are right in front of us here. I mean, they're just short. The weeds overpowered everything. It's just not worth it. Got a good shot of the other pumpkin patch right here, the little ones. She follows me wherever I go. I love it, but I don't like it right now. Paige, I think you should go find the squirrel. And there she goes. still get a little bit up here, but it helps a lot more than just plowing through with the loader up. I've noticed. Just seems to fold it and keep it down underneath the tractor. So we'll just keep monitoring it. But here's field number 1, that's done. And it does continue to go down and around, but obviously I didn't want to do that, take any more of that, because obviously that is, you know, there's a lot of corn down there. Second field is basically over on this side right here, running out through. This, there's, again, was planted late, and this was kind of our test plot to try out the corn planter that we got. So same thing here, nothing worth anything. I definitely have to watch on this side because the pumpkins come very close, and actually they're starting to grow into the field. So I really got to watch how close I come out to here. So we'll probably stay in quite a ways because you can see the plants continue to go out through. So there's number 2 down. I did let a little strip over there. We do have a little bit of corn over there. Try and get everything that I can. Now here we had a lot better turnout as far as corn went. But this is sweet corn, and like I said before, I missed the window to harvest, and this was a problem with weeds again, so. Definitely doing a good job of, you know, really shredding these corn stalks down for the most part, so they can start the rotting up process, and then we can do our tillage and get them kind of mulched back in. Yeah, it's still a lot of weeds in there, but there is a lot of corn, which there again, I don't think there's any years. The deer hit it pretty hard. Well, another one done. It smells like cut corn out here. Another field done. And then we got the biggest portion of the hay field to go. This was really tough because you really had to control the lever as you're coming up through these like divots here. So I was gonna try and pick some pumpkins as we, you know, since we're up here, but I'm really running out of daylight, so I need to get down there and get that other field cut. That one we can mow a lot faster. So here's this field. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but you can see the edge of the hayfield there, and then over on the other side is all just nothing but weeds. So I didn't bother cutting any of this for hay. I did one time on first cutting, and then I don't think I even did second cutting. I think second and third were just junk. So that's basically where that's at. It's gonna get dark here pretty quick, and I didn't even do feeding yet for the animals. We got a late start after work here, so that's gonna do it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Winter's coming, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen, it's gonna get cold. It's all part of it. We got plenty of projects to go into the shop, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.